everybody. It's me, Wendy Shaner, the naughtiest fairy, and I'm so excited to have you join us. If you're here, say hi in the chats. Hello, Art Jones. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I am super excited because I have one of my favorite people hanging out backstage. Hello, Shani. It's good to see you. Thank you for hanging out. So I'm just going to bring him out and we'll say hello. Hi, CB.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, gang. Thanks for having me tonight.
I'm so excited because I have had the pleasure of working with you for now a couple of years, and I got to meet you in Baltimore, and that was just so much fun. And we went adventuring.
Yeah, I can't do the hard thing, but you get it. And we did do adventuring. Yeah.
We did. We went to see the Edgar Allan Poe gravesite, and we had a whole posse with us.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, and it was haunted, and it was beautiful, and it was just awesome. But then, I've had the pleasure of having you on Ginger Snap, and you've done stuff for Naughty Fairy Con last year.
Yep.
And you've had covers with me since book 2, if you can believe it. Like,
is it
all
really?
the way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And here we are, a whole new series, and a whole new year has passed, and like it's just been a whirlwind.
Yeah, it really
and in
has.
that time you've had Into the Suck, you've had Scorpiana, you've done Might, and now you've got Black Rabbit.
Right.
And Black Rabbit down there, you can see on the ticker is the website, so you can go check it out. I'm so excited because I got to do a cover on there, and it was so much fun to do.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Having it, like, how could I not do a naughty series without the naughtiest fairy? I mean, that's just a given, right?
Right. And now you've got a whole new naughty that's all your own.
That's true. Yeah. I ventured into it. I mean, as much as Scorpiana has some naughty, and we offer the digital naughty, this one is full blown. It's erotic. It's erotica. So hi, Carrie Ann. What's up, Lewis?
Hey, Lewis.
And Josh. Hello.
It is squared.
It is.
So
I
what
think the
have
square
you
part
been...
refers to me.
So what have you been doing? Because your campaign's been going now for, is it just a week, 2 weeks?
Just it's going on 2 weeks. It's a little bit shorter campaign than I typically run. And I did that on purpose, actually. I wanted to kind of experiment and see how things would go. Because I think, we all realize somewhere in the middle, there's that, that lull. And I wanted to see, well, would it make a difference if I just kind of compacted things? So we'll see. So yeah, we're down to 11 days, and campaign. I mean, over 600 backers is just I'm so blown away by that.
Well, you've got. I mean, it's a beautiful campaign, and
thank you.
You've got some amazing artists on here, and the graphics are fantastic.
Thanks.
Now, when you started laying out your campaign, did you kind of have an idea of how you wanted it to look? Because I know you and I had talked about how this was such a different design for a comic book.
Yeah. Right from the very beginning, I knew I didn't want it to be a traditional comic book. First of all, I knew it was going to. Once I knew Black Rabbit was going to delve into the realm of erotica, I knew I wanted something unique and special. Because originally, it's funny. I designed Black Rabbit to be a villain to fight Might originally, and so when maybe this is a good segue down the road, but her character design she just didn't fit the Might verse. But I just loved her design so much, and as I showed people, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I love that character." And I was like, "Well, what do I do with her?" And just everything about her seems sexual, not in a like perverted way, just like a temptation kind of way. And so I kind of went with that and let that start fueling her story. And then the design for this, I actually kind of fueled off of Gwen Delagal. She is doing the interior colors for me, and I'm really excited because it's the first time she's done interiors, and Originally I had her like the portals, the vortex she opens with her gloves is just this blue energetic kind of look, and she started bringing in other colors to it, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I even went back and changed up the logo for Black Rabbit and added in that kind of neon magenta pink background to it to incorporate what Gwinnell was doing. And so I let that be the driving force for the design for the campaign itself. As you can see with the neon kind of blue and pink, magenta, purple. So, hey, Larry.
Hi, Larry. Yeah, that's what I was trying to kind of scroll as you were talking,
Yeah.
looking at the different elements of the characters, and I love that she cosplayed that.
Oh
That's
my gosh. Yeah. Kate was so cool to deal with. I just did kind of a general search all the way around. I like working with, new people on each of the campaigns. And there's so many good people to work with. I've worked with, Morgan Bailey before, and gosh, she did her very first cosplay was for Into the Suck. And I couldn't believe how she went for it. I was so excited for her and for what she did. In fact, it's funny. The one person I haven't worked with yet that I need to is Nicole,
yeah,
Kara Nicole.
yeah,
And I keep meaning to, but Kate kind of fell into my lap. I found her and I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out and see. And she responded, and just super, super nice to deal with. And she's over in Spain, and she just kind of gravitated to the character. She was excited. I sent her a few of the pictures, and you can see some of the things that she tried to like duplicate and go from there. So,
yeah.
but
No, it's
there,
gorgeous.
yeah, there's a good example of what Gwen did in the interior. And at first I was like, oh, I really, I didn't want it to be pink, but I thought, well, why not? Like, it just brought a new element to it. And it took us a while. Gwen was really good to sort of experiment with, because in my head I kind of knew what I wanted, but I couldn't express what I wanted the book look like. I just knew, like, when I saw it, when it was there, it would be like, yes, that's it. And I kept sending her different references. I found some like watercolors, but all of it had like a noir, and I drew it with a very noir esque, hard shadows, black and white. Thanks, Stone. Hey, Rob.
Hey,
Um, and So Gwen worked with me, and I was like, yeah, that's close, not that. And she was so good about it. Because I know, like, being on the other end of it, sometimes it gets frustrating when someone's constantly saying that's not quite it. Can you tweak this or tweak that? But she went for it, and like I said, it even altered the way I started looking at Black Rabbit. So I was very excited for that.
yeah, it's beautiful. I love the way that you've got the like almost black and white and sepia with the muted colors, and then you've got the bright. It's just gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And it still kept that noir black and white ish look to it. And my other goal, like in doing it, I wanted all of the interior pages to feel like pinups.
Yeah.
Like each image, I could pull each of those images out and really make like a cover out of each one of those. So that was another thing I wanted it to be unique. So
It's just beautiful. So
thank you.
I'm just super excited for it because you and I've been talking about Black Rabbit for quite a while now,
Hmm.
and so to be able to finally see it like come together, it's just super exciting.
Yeah. It was something I've been talking about and teasing for about a year, I think. Um, and it was just something I just knew I wanted it to be perfect before I released it, because originally I planned on releasing it sometime in October, and that got pushed, and I had some people miss some deadlines, and it was like, okay, well, I'm not ready to release it yet. So I pushed it back, and then holidays hit, and it just ended up being, okay, this is the time. I had enough stuff ready, and I had so much like backup material. I I have so many great covers still to use that they're going to be used for the second book, and it was really difficult. It's a character I've just fallen in love with, doing like the different things I can with that noir element. I cut so many of my own covers, so but then I had like your cover, Wendy, and you just got her character. She's naughty, Like I said, how could I not do a naughty book without the naughtiest fairy? Um,
it was so much fun. I enjoyed those so much because I ended up doing two. And
Yes,
so
yes.
when
And
I
see,
saw
and
the
that's
one you picked, I was just like, okay, that's really awesome. That's really
yeah. And I still have that other one, and that will be put to use. I don't know if that'll be second campaign, if it'll be a print down the road. I don't know, but like I said, I have so many fun, cool things to work with. And I also found and maybe you found this in your campaigns too, especially because you have such a cool design going on. We were talking about this before we came on the air. Um, but I found like as her character evolved and the look was coming um, out the way that I needed it to. Sorry, I'm just looking at Rob John Cena ish. Actually, isn't this John Cena ish? Somebody out there is really going to get that joke. But anyway, um, but like as the look started coming to yeah,
Wait, I'll put it
as the
back.
look started coming together, I started realizing like other covers I wanted, and other like I guess themes I wanted for the covers. And quite honestly, and I'm not saying this because you're right here, you were the one that like it was kind of a no doubter, like that never wavered. That was perfect for Black Rabbit.
I
So
didn't even have any edits on that one. You didn't
no,
even say, "Hey, change this, change it." It's like, nope, you got it. I just got to just add details and play at that point.
yeah, I think the only thing I ended up editing when I put it to cover is I kind of darkened the corners, like I added just a touch of shadow, um, and I was like, I didn't want to even send you notes because it was so subtle. I was like, I'm not even going to bother Wendy to do this. This is just silly. It doesn't change anything except I made the corners a little darker.
It turned out really cool, and like I
Oh,
said, it was so much fun to do. And anytime we get to do something that's it's like in our wheelhouse, but it's still outside. Like it's like especially when it's naughty, it's even more fun
yeah,
because like that image when you and I were talking about it, I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. You're like, whoa, I just had like this whole thing flash
yeah,
in my head from that movie. And I was just like, yep, that's what I was thinking. I want
yes,
to make
yes,
this as dangerous as possible.
yeah, and it's so like the dangerous is a good part because that's part of the element of Black Rabbit. She kind of flaunts her sexuality in the face of danger. You know, she is just so overcome with um like just the thrill, the sexual thrill of the heist, that it doesn't matter. You know, she would totally do that, in a scene. So, and just because of that, I have to work in a scene like that in a later book.
Yes,
Yep.
maybe.
Yes. You are.
Definitely of the naughty fairies. Yep.
And
Oh my goodness. And speaking of fairies, I was excited because you were doing your Monday night show
mhm,
and you were drawing Daenerys and her dragons, which is one of my favorites. And I was so excited because I'm like, okay, CB, I have to have this.
yeah,
And then I messaged you like 10 minutes later, and I'm like, okay, can you do this? And you're like, absolutely. So
yeah,
this was the line art that you did for Sireness, and you turned her from Daenerys into Sireness,
yeah.
and it just turned out so beautiful. And then I got Gwenella, or Gwen, is it Gwenelle,
Gwenelle, yeah,
to
or
do the
Gwen. She said I asked her. She goes by Gwen too.
So yeah, I've been calling her Gwen.
Yep.
So she was so sweet. She was like, "Yes, I want to color for you." So
Yeah.
this was her color version of Sireness, as cosplaying as a Daenerys character with little one who's from the Naughty Fairy series, and
Yeah.
this is Luna back here if she
Yeah.
were a big girl, and
Ooh.
then Russ had Wyvernite from his series.
Ah.
So I was super excited to be able to bring all the dragons together.
That's so cool because I noticed that they were all different colors, but it didn't dawn on me that the gold wings was Luna and the purple. Oh,
Which because her wings are really red, but I'm like the body's blacked out, and if I just put red, it's
yeah,
not. you're not going to necessarily associate it. So putting her as the gold, and I was just like,
Yep.
oh, that'll work perfect. That'll be great.
Yeah. And Gwen did such a good job coloring that. I should talk about like how she colored Sireness, but like I appreciate the flames she did in the background because I know how difficult those are to
Yes. Here,
do.
I'll
And,
show it again because it's
yeah.
just so beautiful.
And I know especially like working over because I had done the flames kind of a grayscale, and I don't know how she managed to kind of work that out, but
Yeah,
so
because you've got them here,
magical. Yeah,
and then yeah, it's just magic.
yeah, and
It's
it was.
some sorcery that happens behind the scenes. Colorists just have this
I know,
witchcraft thing down. It's
but you see,
mesmerizing.
you're good with colors and light sources, and I struggle. But I've had an itch lately to try to color more. What? I know. Oh wow, man, oh man.
I know they've been trying to get me to drop the F bomb, but they haven't increased it enough.
Yeah.
I said it's gotta be really high. It's not backwards.
Well, maybe they're used to seeing it because I don't know.
When you do the live show, because you're
When I
doing
do live show, it's reversed, right? I look
yeah.
left-handed in it. Yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen. No.
I
Hi,
of all
Patrick.
people, Stone he cocaine always comes up in his conversations. And
It might be.
I know Thomas says it like there's something wrong with softcore dragon
It's
porn.
not. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, it's.
But
You're
I'm
so
so
sweet. Thank you. That's so sweet to say. Yep. No, see, it's only 200. That's not enough.
no.
No.
No, you're not coaxing Wendy into the F bomb for a measly 200.
No. I told him the other day, he asked me, and I said, when the campaign hits 50K, then I'll think about it.
There you go. Yep, 100%.
I'm thinking about
And
it.
your campaign, by the way, too. Like I know you talked about my cover, but you have some incredible covers and cosplay going on with yours as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I can pop that one over. Let me.
Um, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you have Jay Ferguson, you have Steph Wilson. Uh, Katessa did some really cool cosplay stuff.
Did you
Um,
see Marseille's? Oh
yeah,
my goodness. So
I
Marseille was 8 months pregnant when she shot that.
what?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh
gosh!
yes, look, she is amazing. So we had our walk and I keep waiting for CB's picture to make it to the wall.
Oh, you know what? I really, really have to look. I don't even know what I have from that era. I've thought about it. I have to look. I don't know. I don't know what it's in a box buried somewhere. Otherwise, I would. I've meant to go searching, and I don't
We'll
know.
get you on there one way or
Yeah, yeah.
another. Yeah, these are the stretch goals, and then the trading cards. We had the regular ones, and we've got these 3-inch round record
That is
trading
just
cards. That those are like I'm super excited about those.
those are like the coolest things ever. Like again, we were talking before we came. That's a great cover too.
Well,
Like
this
it's got
one
so
this
much
one is
life and
just
energy.
dropping tonight. This is the debut for this piece.
It's
So
so
this is a Codex Entertainment crossover piece that we did with
yeah.
Luis Torres.
Yep.
So I am so thankful. He's been like my unofficial sponsor for the show, for the Sireness World Tour, and so we decided to do a cover. So we've got our Sireness rocking out with the girls from VRXOXO.
Yeah.
And so, if you guys are interested, that is available on the campaign live now. I made sure that was done before we went live this time
Yeah.
instead of while we were trying to do it.
And that's such a
So
nice design to that cover. It's got so much energy to it.
it
Really, really.
does, and the colors are really vibrant, and it just has it's so much fun. Like Lewis and I were going back and forth and working with the artist on what we wanted, and he did such a great job bringing that to life.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Of course.
Of course. Um, Yeah, no, no, I'm telling you, it's got to be more than that.
Yep. They're trying though.
I know
Yeah.
they are trying really hard. It's not that exciting. I don't
I,
think it would
I,
be.
you're gonna hear me say this a lot, but those are such nice covers too, from stuff like that. That I'm a big fan of that, like monochromatic kind of look. But the fact that you did like diamond, platinum, gold, oh, it looks so sharp.
Yeah, and Carrie Ann and I sat and we were talking about what we wanted to do for this. And you were like, okay, I'm thinking like we're doing metal, so let's do them as metal albums. Like if you were doing, the gold album, or if it goes platinum, or if it goes diamond or double
Yeah,
platinum, and all that. And then she's like, okay, how am I going to switch between a platinum and a diamond? How am I going to distinguish it? And she did, because there's more
yeah,
of a blue tone in the platinum. It's gorgeous. I think this
yes.
one is my favorite, actually.
So
This one's going to be
did she color it that way and then alter it, or was it like full color and then altered afterwards?
it. I That's a top secret discussion.
Wow. Okay. Well, no matter what, like, kudos to Carrie Ann. She killed that.
She did. It was such a fantastic design. I was talking with Carrie Ann, and Steph came over and goes, "Here, I have an idea," and he shows it to me, and I just like started tearing up. I'm like, "That is that is so perfect," because it's during the show. She's tired. You can see that she's been
Yeah.
working hard. She's got the cigarette. Her hair isn't as floofy because it's weighed down,
Yes.
and it's that mid grind of a concert, and it's just fantastic. And then we're like, it totally reminded me of Paradise City, and then it was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So when I started posting about Paradise City, it was because this one was what I just kept thinking about, and then Carrie kept playing with it.
And that's a perfect title for it too. And um, yeah, like I love the way you described it, because I'm such a big fan of like covers having a story element to it too. And I say that a lot on these shows, but um, I do. I love when it has just there's something a little bit more than just like a pose. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love pinup art too. I have ton. I'm surrounded by pinup art right now, but like that little story design, and that is absolutely a collector's item, because look at the background that Steph Wilson did. I,
That was all Carrie Ann.
oh, was it? Oh,
It
okay.
was all Carrie Ann.
So now the
Carrie Ann
secret
did
is out.
amazing. Like Stefan, I think Stefan and Carrie Ann were able to kind of discuss like what he was envisioning, and then
Yeah,
Carrie brought it together,
it's
and
just
it's amazing.
it's
And
beautiful.
these are super. These are the only ones that I'm going to have are these metal covers. There's only 8 of the gold, 5 platinum, and the diamonds already sold out. We only have
Yeah,
3. So we made these super special just for Siren S. So
nice.
one of the stretch goals that if we hit 20, I think it's 28, is a really cool thing that I can't show you yet, but it's really cool, and you guys are going to want it. So as soon as the campaign starts bumping up, because we're down to like the last 5.5, 4 days. You know how Kickstarter adds like a whole nother day.
Oh yeah,
We end on Monday, so
yeah,
that's what we're thinking.
yeah.
Um,
I still like, again, we were talking before we came on. I still am trying to figure out Kickstarter. I mean, every year I try to do a countdown, and I realize I'm always an hour off. Whatever.
the Copics are around.
Yeah.
So then we had Prince, and then we've
And
got,
again, like April's the animated cell look.
oh my gosh,
Pretty cool
yes.
idea.
Let me get to that one
Yeah.
because I can show you the full one. This was another one that was Carrie Ann and Courtney together. That was fantastic.
Oh, I don't think I realized that Carrie Ann colored that one. That's
Yes, that's Carrie Ann's colors.
wow, so cool.
Is Ruben here too? Oh,
He
you woke
is.
up
What's
from
up,
your nap.
Ruben?
Hi, Ruben. Um, he's got his hands full. He's got a little toddler. So
Oh, really, man. And
yeah,
Ruben, I some of the artwork I've seen him post lately, just killing it.
it's amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So the girls, I was so fortunate to have 6 cosplayers
Uh,
for this. I have Kara Nicole.
yeah.
December Lace did Ginger Snap. She was my first Ginger Snap, and she did awesome.
I know. I remember when you shared this with me, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, she makes a perfect ginger snap.
She does. And then we've got Haley's butt.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's rock and roll. You
It
know,
is.
it really is.
And we've got Morgan Bailey, her Sireness,
So pretty.
and Sarah, my
Oh,
lovely Sarah. So
right.
proud of her.
Oh
She's
my god.
holding fire.
I
She's
know.
holding the fire. That is real. And here you have Marseille, and
Mm-hmm.
she is 8 months pregnant.
Amazing. Yeah, that's wow.
So this was for the Ladies of Cosplay, which is a totally separate book. So this
Mhm.
is all cosplay of all the different characters.
I love that you did that.
I wanted to celebrate each one of the girls, and
Yeah.
so they all have their own elements. And then Steph and Carrie Ann did these pinups of like each one of the characters cosplaying as like a pinup girl from the
Huh.
early days. So
Yeah.
like I have a pinup of Marilyn, I have got the pinup of Betty Page, of Jane Mansfield, and oh, I just and okay, wait,
I'm
I
trying
just
to
went
think of
blank. I went blank. I'll get there. I'll
uh
think of it. I'll
yeah,
think of it.
uh I'm trying to think of other like
Um,
people. I mean, it could be
I'll
Anne
get there.
Margaret, it could be who the hell played Cleopatra? Was it her? Elizabeth.
No,
Uh
no, it'll come up.
yeah, anyway.
Rita, Rita Hayworth.
Rita
There we
Hayworth.
go.
Okay, yeah.
I just went blank. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I totally went blank. I'm like, I can't
Yeah,
think of
Rita
this.
Hayworth, she gave good face.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this was Contessa did this piece, and I'm just like, okay, that totally is going on my interior front cover because that's going to be everywhere.
Oh, I love it.
And then my interiors,
Yeah. Hey,
and there are
that pink
this
girl.
interior is a little different than before.
Yeah, I like it.
And then just some more interior pieces, and those are I have all 8 of the new pages done.
Mm.
So the book is finished, and then there's 8 people that have opted to be drawn into the book. So
Ah,
once I get their pictures,
yeah.
they're going to be put in there. So, but everything is ready to go. I'm so excited because I wanted this perfect, ready to go, exciting. So there's new story. There's new backstory to Sireness as to why she just kind of has her
No,
why she is the way she is.
I have two follow-up questions for you if that. One,
Yeah.
can you see will this story of Sireness continue or will she just basically continue in the Naughty Fairies book?
She can continue and she can continue in Naughty Fairy. So it can be 2 separate parts of her timeline.
Do you think that's what you plan on doing?
It's one of the things I'm playing with, yeah.
Cool.
And so
That's
I
really
think
cool.
that'll be really interesting because like we know where she ends up,
Yeah.
and watching how she gets there, it's I'm not gonna lie, it was intense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I understand that. And so now, as an artist, I want to ask you this because um, how long does it take you to do like an interior page?
Um, it takes me, if I sit down and I'm just working on that piece from start to finish, it takes me hours, like
Yeah.
6 to 10 hours on one page, but
Yep.
that's including the coloring, that's including the artwork, that's everything. Lettering, that's from top to bottom.
I'm actually amazed you work that fast.
So I
It
can
would take me 6 to 10 days if I had to color my own interior pages.
well, I think it makes a difference now that I've got I'm using servers for rendering and
Yeah.
doing, so my huge layer files are able to be processed a lot faster. So I
Oh,
didn't have
nice.
to buy a new computer for that. So that helped me a lot.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. That's so cool.
You guys could. It'd be fun. I should do that. I just don't know
Yeah.
how to do that process on the
Yeah. Right.
computer. So these were the singles with the records, and these were like my favorite promo thing. So I had so much fun with this,
I just
doing the little 45 type record or, with the album. But we've got Jay Ferguson. This one,
so
Marseille, is again, she's 8 months pregnant.
she does such a good job with using the shadows to sort of like hide it and still, and it's beautiful. Like
It's
it
gorgeous.
comes out so rich, the
Yeah.
colors.
And the reason Marseille is pregnant is Cyrus happens to be pregnant in the book.
Ah,
So
hmm,
here you
there
can
you
see
go.
her celebrating, motherhood.
Right, right. That's so amazing.
She did a great job. And then, my little rocker, my Haley, ugh, she's
So
gorgeous.
yeah, did you have to pay Marseille extra so that she would be that pregnant by the time the campaign launched?
You know what? It worked out because she sent me the pictures the day before she went into labor with the baby.
That's
So
great.
it was just perfectly timed. Oh, look who's here. Hi, JT.
Oh, actually, that's funny. I just got my package today from JT right here. I haven't even opened it yet. I haven't had a chance. So,
I
woohoo!
got I got my Christmas card from JT.
Ooh, nice.
I'm so excited. Thank you. Yes. So this was our Motley Crue homage, which that was one of our favorite albums, both Bill and mine, when we were younger. So that I'm just like, oh no, you have to do this. She was like, okay. And a new booty.
I know, but like all of her shots without showing her or more of Cyrus are so rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool.
And then Bruna Sales and Ruben Rosas. He did his piece and it looks gorgeous. He
Oh,
did such a good job.
yeah. Ruben is like, wow, so
And this is Christina Haggerty's, and she was inspired by Marseille's
yeah.
piece
That is a
and did the
gorgeous
artwork.
cover.
Yeah,
That is, with all due respect to everyone else, that is one of my faves. Again, I don't know if it's like I don't know. I'm a big fan of that sort of mix where you just have enough color to hint, but the rest is that's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of art.
it is gorgeous and it's huge. I have the original piece and it is amazing.
Really.
It is gorgeous, and she
So was
put
that
like
done? Was that paint or?
so she used watercolor. Most of
Oh my
it's
god,
watercolor, and
that's
Christina's been just like she's been a black and white realist artist for years. I mean,
mhm,
her black and white, her pencils are just stunning.
mm.
And she's been tattooing, I think, 8 years.
Oh
So
wow,
she's had to go, she had to learn how to do colors because that wasn't her wheelhouse. But
wow.
this is where she excels, is in the black and white. So she added all these, like, she had um, metallic watercolor
Oh,
paints. So that's what is in her hair and in her mask. And it is just, it's amazing.
it's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece.
And look at this one.
Yeah, great energy. That's the thing I love about art. Like, you go from that watercolor piece to this, and it's like, I I just that's what I just love art. That's where I can fanboy all day long. Like, the styles are my favorite part. Like, just and I mean that's so cool. JT did. Oh man,
It's gorgeous. And like he sent this to me and I was like crying because I'm like, that is so great. The color, the energy, it's vibrant. And I think JT is really kind of the master of
yeah,
that kind of vibrant over the top color. It's fantastic.
yeah. You have so many great covers and such variety.
Well,
So
thank you. I love all of the pieces.
yeah,
Stephen Carey Ann did this whole like Disney theme with Sireness because she has this huge transformation. Her world gets totally rocked upside down.
Yeah.
She starts off in one type of element and ends up in a totally different one, and all the choices she makes along the way determine her, who she's going to ultimately be.
Yeah.
And this was just Steph and I were talking about it, and he's like, well, let me play with this idea. And then Carrie Ann and I were talking about colors, and we came up with this bright, very Disney-esque kind of feel. And it turned out gorgeous. This one's not for Disney, but that's okay.
Right. But um yeah, Steph, I still remember the first time, and I don't remember how or where I came across his art, and I just was like, I'm like, this is so good. And I felt like I am so late to this like party. Like, where is this guy been? I like I thought he must have like a ton of art out there. I remember reaching out to him to see if he would do a cover for me for Into the Suck, and he was like, "Yeah." And I he was the reason, like looking at his art, that I decided to like bring out my zany style, because I thought it's just so, it's so unique and so fun, and it has such good like feel and energy to it, and it made me decide,
Aw.
like, I wanted to do my cartoony version of my artwork, because like it's always been sitting in my sketchbooks, but I never really broke it out. um so he was kind of my inspiration to do that, and he just
Aw.
he's
He made
so,
you brave.
he's so good, so good. And then, oh, this Van Halen cover, yes.
This one was what we used for the interior for the Comic Unity book.
Yep.
And I've worked with Alex. Alex was on my first, he was one of my first artists for book one when I first did Naughty Fairies. So I was so excited when he's like, yeah. And I said, I'm thinking, like, we went back and forth over, like, I think we had 4 or 5 designs that we were playing with. And he came back with the Van Halen, and I'm like, yes, that is perfect. Exactly. This was, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And he did a naughty and a nice version. Well, I never got to do the naughty version. So the naughty version is really just the girls in the back. But we
Ah,
changed the color, and but that feel,
yep.
it's absolutely perfect for Sireness, and it really depicts her quite well.
Right. So many fun things to work with for her. Like, I mean,
She's great.
you can't go wrong with sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you know?
No, no, and she's just such a fun character on top of that. And
Yeah.
my girl Sarah,
Mhm.
so she was so sweet. It was like Halloween, and she's like, I'm dressing up as Sireness. I'm gonna do the zombie thing, and I'm like, oh, you have to do pictures. So she sent pictures from the graveyard that she
Wow.
was at, and we she showed them to me, and I'm like, okay, we're totally. This is so much fun. These
Yes.
are great because
It's
that's her, and that's her take on the character and bringing in what she loves, and it just made for such a fun made for such a fun cover.
yeah.
Um, I loved it, and I'm like, no, we're definitely doing this.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
we've got her with the fire and the band looking concert shirt and or jacket, and it was just great. It was
It
fun.
is.
And then Lorenzo,
Right.
he is the master of latex.
Yep.
Holy cow! He did a great job on this.
It's always such a good design element. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So we had the naughty and the nice version,
Hmm.
and then Steph did the Aussie homage, which
Yes.
just was so much fun. We had a lot of discussions over these covers.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny. Going back to my like my appreciation for Steph's artwork. Like he does this in his own style, and it's still like that's the Ozzy cover. Like I sit there on my show on Monday nights, and I have a character, and I sit there sweating bullets secretly about like this has to look like someone, or it has to be like, this person's face. Uh, and then I in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking Steph always does it in his style, and it always works. Like, and I think like just do it in your style, just do it in your style, and
Do it in your
and I
style. Do
keep my
you?
fingers crossed that it does work. But Steph, like, just like that's, you look at it, it's like, oh, that's Steph Wilson's art. Oh, that's Ozzy. Like it's just, oh,
Yeah.
it's
And then we've got Luna. It's a more grown up Luna,
Yep.
but it's a
Yep.
Luna back there.
Yeah.
It was cool. And then we've got the naughty, and then we did like a virgin without Luna, and then we have the unplugged version that is with Luna and nude. So we
Yeah.
had different versions of the same piece, and it was really fun to work with.
I'm curious. I'm going to ask this. Oh, you can chime in too, because you're obviously a fan and a backer of stuff too. But I'll ask like everybody who's in the audience too. Do you guys like Virgin covers? Do you like it with the logo? Does it just depend on, um, what the image is? I'm always kind of, yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah,
Because I like when I do mine, like I like to offer some Virgin covers, but a lot of times I think like, but to me, like a comic book cover has the logo. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I know variants, and I don't know. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on it, Wendy, and everybody else that's
Personally,
reading
I
it?
mean, I like both. There's some covers that I want to have the title on, and then there's some that I don't. So
Mhm.
it just kind of depends on the piece. Um, I love putting my logos on the covers because it's like, that's mine. And I'm so
Right?
proud of it and I
Yeah.
want to celebrate it. But I know some people don't want the titles on there.
Yeah.
So I offer both, and
Yep.
then not all the time, but on this one I didn't offer as many, I
Mhm.
don't think, as I normally do. But I was trying to keep more with what's going on. Hi, with the theme of the records and the concerts. I wanted the comics to look like album covers.
Yes, and that makes total sense.
So I did mine a little bit differently.
Yeah.
This one, okay, so April did this as the Fantasia cell.
Yeah. Oh, I totally see the colors now. I
So
I I
it's
just admired it because it's an animation cell.
yep.
Uh, but now, oh man, I like it even more now.
So yeah, so she did it based on Fantasia, and it's hard because it's so bright and it's so vibrant. I don't think the small image does not do it justice. When you see the full image, it is absolutely gorgeous. Like I cannot wait to get these printed and to put the prints up in the house because it is
Right?
just amazing. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I that's
yeah,
interesting that JT said that about how much room, because usually when I do my covers, like for other people, I'm always thinking, well, I need to leave some room at the top for the logo and so forth. But
yeah. So they're not actual records; they're trading cards. So those round records are trading cards. I started looking into doing records because I do have a recorded song. We have a theme song for Siren S. Alton Simpson made it, and we looked into it. But to get them printed and made up was going to take way too long, and I didn't want to delay getting stuff to backers. So I ended up backing out of doing physical records, but that doesn't mean that that's not something that would be in the future. So that's one of our goals.
I don't, Wendy, do you remember? I used to be a big Mad magazine fan, and I remember every once in a while you get a special edition of Mad, and they had a flat like square record in it. Do you remember those at all?
I do. I
Play. They
do.
were so thin, they were floppy. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't
I
know,
don't know if any of those are around
right?
anymore, but like I have these really cool, they were credit card size um cases, and inside is a CD.
Oh wow,
And they're super cool. And I thought, oh, I could totally do that. I could have that
yeah,
and do that and burn these CDs. And then I thought, a lot of the new computers don't have CD players anymore.
right. It's
So I
crazy.
was like, okay, so that kind of like jinxed that. I decided not to do the CDs, but
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, you can. I mean, there's places out there that will make the records, and it's not super expensive. It was really a matter of printing time and getting them back.
yeah.
And right now is not the time to have some of this stuff made.
The menu wrap.
Yeah. Um, and then yeah, and then so these were the five girls,
Mm-hmm.
Their covers, and I have different ones available. And then Tessa, the J. So then I just kind of go through, but the ones that were fun were the unplugged versions.
I thought that was a really cool idea.
So I've got CBs that is just awesome, and I've got J's, which was fantastic. And these are his original lines, so it's not changed. It's not. This is pre-color.
Wow.
And then this is the one that I was talking about that Steph and Carrie Ann did. So those are the original lines that it's so pretty. They're
Yeah.
just all of them. And then Courtney's original lines before Carrie colored. And it was just fun. And I think the whole campaign doing something different and unique, and I always try to make it fun. I don't want everybody to just feel like it's just another campaign. It's the same old stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be different.
It is
And
not the same old stuff. And it, like, we were talking before we came on, like, your design for the whole campaign is just awesome. And I'm so excited to wear the tour shirt.
the shirts were so much fun. So when I was working on that, not only did I get to use your Sireness hair design,
Yeah.
that was just awesome. I had so much fun with that. I'm like, okay, because this is her. This is her band. This would be her showing. So what would I do? And so I was like, okay, since we can't really be at all these cities, we were at Baltimore, and then
Yeah.
I was at C2E2. But what's really awesome is all the locations are where all you guys are from, where all
I
the
know.
artists are from.
I love
And
that.
so, like, if you scroll through, you're like, wait, where is that Niagara Falls? Who's in
You're right.
Niagara Falls? And you start
Right.
thinking, who's in Canada?
Yeah.
Brazil? You have people in Brazil, Australia. Like, I have people from all over the world working on
When I
this, so it
first,
just seemed like a perfect fit
it
for the
was,
whole thing.
it was absolutely perfect. Oh my gosh. When I saw you were doing the tour shirts, I'm like, oh, she should do. And then I think I got that much out, and I realized you did exactly that. I'm like, yes, I loved it.
Where everybody's from, and so
Yeah.
you guys can try to figure out where everybody's from. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah. You know what, JT, that's 100% true. I mean, Wendy, like, I don't know if you do this. I know I will look at other campaigns to see how they're structuring things, but um, I certainly looked at this one before I went live with Black Rabbit to see if there's any things I could steal. um, but yeah, I mean, you just absolutely blew the roof off the arena with this one.
oh, thank you. Um, and you're listed, and I listed that in Illinois. That's one of the locations.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to try to pronounce it correctly because I'll mess it up.
I'm gonna guess it's Lyle. You know,
Lyle?
like as in like an island.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
maybe I'm wrong.
We'll see what JT
Maybe it is
says. We'll see if
Whistle.
it occurs.
Is it
Or
Lyle or Whistle?
he'll spell it out phonetically, and we'll both be like, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we'll lose all
It's
credibility.
Lisley.
You're right,
Ah, yay!
like Isle.
Woohoo!
Yay!
I just wanted
So
to
you
showcase.
have what, 11 days left?
Yeah,
It's
I think that's right. I should know, right? But
Yeah, you
yeah,
have 11. I have 5, which will be going down to 4 probably in the next 20 minutes or whatever. I don't even know how they judge it.
yeah.
Um, so then that'll be going down, and then we'll be hitting those final few days.
You know, right? And it's such like a rat race, and it's so exciting. And then when it ends, it's kind of like, huh.
Wait, what am I supposed to be doing? Why
And
do I have
then
more time?
like the avalanche hits.
But I'm
But
excited, and I think both of us felt this way when we were doing our campaign. Is we wanted everything done before we launched so that we can get it out that much faster. Because to
yeah,
me, it doesn't do me any good to have everybody rush to get this book and then sit on it for a really long time. And
right.
none of mine have, and none of yours really have either. when they're done, they're ready to go. It's just,
Oh yeah.
right now we're in COVID time, so things get slowed down.
I don't think I've ever ran a campaign where the book wasn't completely finished. I have to kind of step back from that. Black Rabbit is done, written, lettered. Gwen has, I think, 10 pages to finish coloring, which I know she's going to knock out soon. So it's basically ready to go. But I never want to not have a finished product ready.
Yeah. And that means a lot because,
Oh, yeah.
people, as a backer, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's so funny because Shawnee just said that. As
Yeah.
backers,
Right.
we appreciate that so much. Absolutely. Because I'm, as a backer, I've backed, I don't even know how many. Like, does it say on here? Let me see.
It probably will with your
It,
profile.
it, it'll say somewhere like Wendy's backed, you
Right.
know, however many. It's a lot. I
You're
think
right.
I'm going to say 200 and something campaigns. So, I've backed a lot of them. I was a fan of comics before I got involved in this, and
Yes.
that to me is really important because that kind of drives how I want the campaign to go, how I want the comic books to be made, how I want them to feel. Like,
Right.
like I'll smell the book, I'll touch the book. I've gone to different printers that are local because I have my stuff printed in Arizona and then I drive out there and pick them up.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, exactly. You've got to have it like ready to go.
Oh,
Yep, she's on my
yeah.
car.
I
Um,
was so happy those stickers turned out really, really.
they're
I
so
was so
cool.
happy.
But
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
we support indie community and we support the Kickstarters, so we know what we like. We know what we want. We want things to be a certain way. And I think because of that, I'm very particular about what stuff I put out.
Yes.
My magnets have to be a certain way. The way the stickers are made have to be a certain way. I could get them cheaper somewhere else,
Yeah.
but I don't like the way they feel and they're not going to last. And it's like I don't want to send people junk, but I know they're freebies too. So
Right.
it's like how
I,
how do you balance that? Because I want the quality without it being
and that's
yeah.
that's a big question too. Like, I don't know how many people, like, some people absolutely live for, the freebies, and
Yeah.
some people, like, personally, like, I'm all about the book when I back something.
Yeah.
um my freebies, like the stickers, I'm slowly decorating my drawing board with them, because I that's the best place I have to put them. But I love the book. Like, that's what I'm all about. But every once in a while, like those your brown stickers, now I'm so excited. Like,
No,
I
they're trading cards. So
or
they're
the
not
trading cards, right?
stickers,
The
they're
trading cards.
trading cards.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
that's like I don't know anybody who's done
No,
round trading cards yet.
no.
So I am super excited. And that was a collaboration Carrie Ann and I came up with. Like we were talking
Love
one
it.
night and I said, this is what I want to do. And she started throwing out ideas. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's
Right.
exactly what I need. Because I was trying to figure out how to get them made.
And that's the coolest thing too. Like, I'm a big fan of having a sounding board, or even being a sounding board for people, because in that conversation, all of a sudden things come out, and you're like, oh, yes, yes, yes. Like, why didn't I think of that? But that's a really fun part of the process.
It is, and I've been really fortunate because Carrie Ann and I have gotten really close since Baltimore. Like we talk
Yeah.
like every day,
Ah,
and Steph laughs because we talk multiple times during the day. But it's always these like when we get to collaborate, we're collaborating, we're bouncing ideas off each other, and we're creating havoc because our ideas are just they combust into these magical things. And
yeah,
we've got a project that we're working on together that's going to be coming out probably after Luna. So we're looking at like maybe the summertime.
nice.
And it is going to be absolutely, it's mine too. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So we have Luna Tales coming out in the springtime. So as soon as I finish fulfilling Sireness, Luna Tales is coming out. And um, that one I've had to kind of change the way the original format was going to be.
Hmm.
So I'm having a hard time accepting that that's how it's going to be. But it will be, for the long run, it will be amazing. So it'll be worth the change. It'll
Nice.
just take a little longer for some things to happen, if that
I,
makes
I
sense.
I had so much fun working on Luna. Like I am so happy with that story.
I
Like
am
I just
too, and it
I just
makes me happy. And I've had little tests. What's really cool. So, for those of you who don't know, Luna Tales is about my baby dragon, my little bearded dragon, and her adventures. She had lost her fingers when she was a baby, so she only has these fingers. She's missing three, and we always would come up with like these fun little stories, like what happened to Luna's fingers, and so she wanted to be a hero, is what we came up with. So I started coming up with all these ideas, and we decided, okay, I'm going to do a comic book based on Luna, so they became Luna's Tales, and she has a long tail, and so she's a bearded dragon who wants to be a hero. Well, she becomes a dragon, and she's a baby dragon, and her adventures of how to go about doing those things. How do you become a hero? What kind of things can you do? Um, Friendship. They're all like these wonderful feel good stories. And I've tested it on some little kiddos, and they absolutely love it and cannot wait for more. So I am super excited to see, because Steph and Carrie Ann have done a piece for it.
love it.
You've done a piece for it. I have Russell and April did a piece for it. Lewis wrote for it,
Nice.
and Jason Duby did some artwork for it. Like there is so much coming for that. And then we
Yeah.
have another, Carrie Ann and I have come up with another project based on Lunatail. So we have this year pretty much mapped out and
Yeah.
maxed between Naughty Fairy stuff and Luna. So it's going to be
Nice.
a very exciting year for all that is Naughty Fairies in comics. And I
I
mean,
I'm so
we have a
excited
TV
for
show.
you for that. Like, and for everyone
How,
else to get their hands on like the Naughty Fairy world. So yay.
how did we come up with a TV show? I mean, this is awesome. Oh,
Yay.
you guys are gonna love. I promise you are gonna love Luna Tales. It may not be the sexy fairies, but it is going to be awesome, and it's darling.
But you know what? I honestly think anybody who is a comic book fan started off as like a children's book fan. You know, like for me, Where the Wild Things Are is the thing
Yeah,
that I always fall back on. Like, I just remember falling in love with those monsters. And I don't know if that was originally what made me want to be an artist, but that was like my favorite children's book. And I just remember every time I went to the library with my mom, it was, I got that book. I had to get that book. And so I think that's an extension of where we gravitated toward with comic books. And now you I love looking at children's books now, because there again, the variety of art in it is so good. And I not knock on wood, like, yeah, knock on
yeah.
wood. I've been lucky enough to do some children's books too. And someday I want to do my own children's book. I went for the erotica first, but my own children's book is coming down the pike someday.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah,
That'll be amazing.
yeah.
I
Well,
want to thank you so much for spending time.
oh yeah,
I
anytime.
really
I know that.
appreciate it, and congratulations on the campaign success so far. Black Rabbit's
Thanks.
doing awesome. Be
You
sure to
too.
check out the link there and the ticker, I guess is what it's called,
Yeah, yeah,
the scrolling thing.
yeah.
So, but thank you guys, and thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. We had a great time. It's always fun to hang out with you, and I appreciate all the love and support and sharing out. So thank you so much. Yeah, we always have a good time, and we don't get to talk enough. So
No,
hopefully we won't have to wait so long before. Uh,
uh,
uh, we
Sean,
don't have to wait so long before we get to chat again.
yeah, 100% agree with that.
So,
I always enjoy talking with you, Wendy.
well, thank you. I had a great time with you too, CB, and thanks everybody for hanging out. Please be good humans out there. check out the campaigns, share out the campaigns, because we've got Sireness has 4 more days. See, it hit 4 now. And then I know CB's got 11. It might be down to 10. Yep, you're at 11. You're at a solid 11.
Solid 11.
Solid 11. So everybody have a great night. I'm just going to play the trailer. So if you want to hear that Sireness theme song, you are welcome to. So have a good night and be good humans.
Yep. See you, gang.
Bye.